Welcome to another episode of the Learning Lab with Jay and Nicole. This month, we're focusing on teachers and resources that can make their jobs more efficient. Today, we're going to talk about some must-have tech tools for teachers. And I'm really excited about our guest today. We have Yan Weng, the CEO and co-founder of Fun Class, which I have been using for a few weeks now, and I really like it. So Yang, welcome to the show.
Thank
And
you. Thank you, Jay and Nicole. I'm very glad to be here as well.
Oh, we're so excited to have you here today. I just can't get over your app. I only looked at it very quickly because I was just in between classes myself, but I'm so excited about it. And I think it's going to work really well with our myth that we have this week. And it says that the more tech tools a teacher uses, the better the learning experience for students. Now, I know this sounds like a very odd myth because why would we say that? That sounds so positive. But it depends on who we talk to, isn't it? Not always is the experience better. So let's talk about that myth a little bit. So the more tech tools a teacher uses, the better the learning experience. What is your thoughts on that?
So for me, I think it really depends on the tools that can really benefit the students. I don't think the more the better it is. It really matters what kind of type of students they are and what kind of tools would work best for them. And also, I feel it's really important for us to bear in mind that every learner is different. Yeah, and they might need different support from the teacher. So it doesn't mean that, okay, for one student, you need all of these tools, and for the other student, it's the same tools. So I think it really needs to cater to the specific student's needs. And when it comes to the teacher side, sometimes as an online tutor myself for 8 years, I feel really struggling sometimes that I have to switch to so many different tools. Again, on one hand, it is, well, a lot of cost, right? For each
right.
subscription, it costs you more. And on the other hand, yeah, as I said before, not every tool works well for the sake for different students. So I definitely think it's not true. The more, the better it is.
I actually can't agree with you more on that one. We've all gotten so good at multitasking, right? It's like flip, 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 hence me running two screens right now. This is why you see me looking around, but at a certain point, I think it actually distracts from the classroom.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a minimalist, I would say, when it came to using tools. I don't use any props in class. I never have. I do use some online tools, but not a lot. Not a lot. I keep it to a minimum. They're distracting, and it's just one more thing to throw into the technology that can mess up, to be honest with you.
And you're going to
You know,
laugh at this because both Jay and I actually both come from a tech background. I went
right?
to college originally for computer science, and he actually did work in the tech
Mm.
field. And I've
Yeah.
worked as a system administrator. And he's extremely minimal. And it's like, there's certain things that I will only use paper for. And I like my tech in classes, but I have a very set amount of tech that I will use in a class at one time. Otherwise, I become
Right.
overloaded myself. So anything
Yeah.
that's a little more all in one, which is actually why I like Zoom because it lets me just show my screen and I can just flip around. It's very, very simple. But yeah, it can be very overwhelming, which brings me to our first question that we have for you today is how did you get started in the ed tech
Yes, I am really
field
curious about this
for
because
educators?
your product is really fantastic and people are talking about
I,
it.
I I have to admit it caught my eye and it takes a lot to catch my eye. It actually made me take a second, third look like,
Oh.
huh.
Thank you. Thank you both. Yeah, so it's actually a very interesting story. I have been an online tutor for 8 years. So I started as just an online tutor teaching English specific to Chinese students. And after a few years, I feel like, well, being an online tutor really limits my impact because I can only help and support the student that sit in my classroom. I cannot extend to million students in the world, which is my ambition. The reason why I'm very passionate about education is because I feel that's the best way to change the society and also to help individuals succeed in their life. So that's why I feel like, well, being an online tutor is not enough for me. I want to build an ad tech platform that is much more scalable and impactful, that can not only empower the students, but also help the teachers like myself to benefit their students. So that is the reason why I wanted to transfer from being just an online tutor to an ad tech founder, because that can give me much more scalability to help me extend my impact to more teachers and students all around the world. So that is the main reason why I got into ad tech.
Oh, I'm loving this answer so much because I work
Me
in this
too.
field. And I love that you are thinking further down the road and also the impact that you can have for more students. Because that's actually a lot of frustration for a lot of teachers is we get into this because we want to help. We want to
Exactly.
facilitate. And sometimes we do feel limited to the confines of our classroom. So I like that. That was pretty cool, I have to admit.
Now, how did you, well, first, not everybody may know what fun class is. Could you give us a kind of like a high
Yeah.
level, what fun class is?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to put into simple words, Fun Class is a gamified virtual classroom to maximize student engagement when it comes to online tutoring, especially for younger children. Well, the reason why I came up with the idea of Fun Class is because before Fun Class, I was using Zoom and some other meeting platforms, but all of us, we know that Zoom is not built for learning, right? It is for businesses, companies to have meetings like us. We're doing this podcast, but it's not for teaching, especially for younger children. It's very, very limited when it comes to interactive tools. So imagine you're a 5 years old and you're sitting in front of a computer. You have nothing that you can do to really interact with the teacher. Just listen or you sometimes just speak with the teacher. It can be really boring sometimes. So that's why I was searching. I was searching for some other platforms outside in the market, whether there's something that can help me engage my students better, that can use gamification, etc. Because I really want to make my classes as fun as possible for my students. And I did a lot of research, but unfortunately, I didn't find anything that I was looking for. So I
Right.
thought, well, if there's nothing outside there that I was looking for, why not I create one by myself? So
Sure.
that's how I started the journey of Fun Class. Yeah, as an educator myself, I have a lot of insights when it comes to the tools, what I need to use to maximize my student engagement and also to make them feel as motivated as possible. But I don't have any technical background as you both have. So I was, yeah, really struggling at the beginning how I can find a technical founder to make this a reality. Yeah, so
Right.
last year around February, yeah, I started this journey of Fun Class alone as a solo founder. But yeah, I'm not skillful in any coding, so I couldn't make it by myself. Yes, I
Okay.
spent around 6 months looking for a CTO as my co-founder. And finally,
Okay.
around August last year, I found my co-founder Vienna, who is an absolutely amazing technical co-founder. So it's been actually very short time for us. We're out there just for less than 4 months. Yeah, we launched the product of Fun
Mhm.
Class at the beginning of June this year, and it took us around 10 months to develop the product. But so far, I'm so excited to get so much positive feedback from all of our tutors and the students. Every day, we're seeing the comments from the students and parents and teachers
Mhm.
saying that, wow, Fun Class really changed their learning experience. Their students got so excited in the class when they
Oh,
got
yeah.
their hatched, etc. Yes, I
They
feel
keep
like,
wanting
wow,
their
that is
their XP and their HP and their egg.
I'm going to
exactly.
I'm going to admit to you, I have one group class in particular that I'm going to be testing this out on next week. Um, I was a little sick this week, so I wasn't able to do it, but I'm going to test it out next week. And Jay and I both have the same frustration whenever we've tried out other platforms. from the technical background that we have is that it's always clunky.
Right,
Like
right,
you know
right.
what I mean? Like we've all worked for those schools that have
Yeah.
Right.
their platforms from, the early 2000s, still running them now. And they're extremely clunky and difficult to use, and they say that, oh, it's interactive, and it's not, and things don't
Mm.
work. So yeah, Jay has really been enjoying it. He's done nothing but talk you up. And I played with it a little bit, but I haven't actually used it for a class. I'll be doing that next week and giving you some feedback. And it it actually worked pretty well when I was just playing with it. I was like, huh, okay.
Pretty intuitive. It's
It-
pretty
it-
intuitive.
Oh, that's great to
Now,
hear. Thank you.
this platform obviously is targeted towards younger students, under probably, I would guess, under 10 years old. Are you
Mm.
gonna do something for the teenagers and adults?
Yeah,
yeah, there you go.
that's
That's
a
what I
Okay.
great
want to know.
question. Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked this because the reason why we start with the younger student is because that's the gap in the market so far. There's
Mhm.
nothing that can really caters this group of students. So that's why we started with the younger students, which we use
Sure.
gamification, like pet development,
Mhm.
etc., which looks very child friendly, right, to attract these younger students. But of course, I think gamification can work very well for the teenagers, for the older students. So that is exactly what we are doing right now to add
Oh,
another gamification style that is more relatable to the older students. So right now we're in the design process. But to
Okay.
okay.
give you a little bit spoiler about what is coming for the gamification of the older students, we are adopting a futuristic AI style. So the
Okay.
students, they're gonna be on a mission. So it's more like
Um,
a dystopian world where
Sci-fi.
some
Oh my gosh.
students are gonna be
Sci-fi.
rebels.
Teenagers love
Exactly,
that.
sci-fi theme. So every student will have a character in this world, and for
Mhm.
each lesson they take, they're gonna unlock some clues, some puzzles in order to solve a mission. Yeah, so that is something we're designing right now for the older students. So that is more cognitively challenging and
Mhm.
also more relatable to the older students. So it doesn't look that cute or
Right.
childish. It will make them feel like, wow, they're really playing kind of escape room or a video game. Yeah.
Can
So
Oh,
I?
for them,
escape room. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
right.
I
Can
like
I
it.
can I ask a question? So
sure.
with the older students, now see, I teach a little differently when it comes to English. I don't teach English for English. Does that make sense? I I
Yeah.
I started my journey as a teacher, as a homeschool parent. So we do more of a rounded type of lesson. So I use other subjects to teach English. So I use cultural studies for English,
Mm,
science for English, history for English
yeah.
to make it more entertaining.
Yeah.
Will For the older students, will the teacher be able to pick a theme so that way that theme is matching the lesson? Would you have a set of themes available?
So that's something we're also trying to considering. In an ideal world, the teacher can choose from a range of gamification themes that you would like to use with a certain students, right? So
Okay.
as I said previously, every student is different.
Yeah,
So the
right.
ideal situation that you would have a lot of options to choose the best one that is most suitable for your students. Yeah, so that is kind of the ideal we would like to achieve.
Nice.
Yeah,
See,
but
that
right
for me would
now,
be a game changer if I could choose the
exactly.
theme because it would
Right.
match kind of the theme that we're talking about. So
Exactly.
it's not like you're changing gears to play the game and then changing gears back into the lesson, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. It will be the best case if the gamification style or concept is related to the subject you teach. For example, if it's science, then maybe students are on a scientific mission, right, to solve
Mhm.
some problems, etc. Yeah, so that would be more integrated into the learning experience as well. Yeah. So that is something what we are already thinking of.
It,
This
nice.
this
It's
would
on the
actually
table.
work really well, the science stuff. I actually teach a group meteorology class to kids in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan.
Mm.
This would work really well with them. Right now, we're using Zoom. Right now, we're using Zoom. But
We're only picking your brain about it because we're thinking about a lot of us, me and Jay in particular, teach some more advanced students. And
yeah,
so
Mhm.
that that would actually be a huge deal. That would make the classes very more interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is the goal of fun class. As you see the name fun class,
Mhm.
our objective is to make classes fun as a game. So it's not just, sitting in front of computer, listening to the teacher passively, but the goal is to really motivate the students to interact with the teacher as much as possible. So because that's the best way for them to learn. When it comes to online tutoring already, the with the screen, the interaction is limited. But what we want to do is to motivate the students to speak, to participate as much as they can using this kind of gamification features. And sometimes I also hear a lot of feedback from the teachers. Well, it is just too exhausting using just the teacher's energy to engage a student. The teacher really needs some
Right.
extra yeah, the teacher really needs an external tool to help them so they don't have to, shout all the time in the class, that they can use
Mhm.
some gamification tools to motivate the students as well. Yeah, so
Mhm.
that's exactly something we are trying to do to support the teachers.
Okay.
I agree with this a lot because like Jay, I have not used props in my class since I don't know, at least a good 6 years or something like that. I feel that it's the teacher's presentation and the teacher's attitude
Mm,
and engagement and connection to the child, not making me look like I'm a clown presenting on stage. So that's what I feel like, to be honest. And I also feel like it diminishes the value and the respect of the teacher by making yourself look like a clown. That's how
yeah,
I see it
yeah.
myself. I'm not saying teachers look like clowns. I'm saying I feel that way, and I feel like it actually lowers my respect quality of
Mhm.
who I am and the education I bring and the experience I bring. So I like the fact that it's removed from the teacher and is part of the application itself, with the teacher facilitating the information.
Exactly.
So you're retaining that level of respect and knowledge, and you're not seen as an actor playing a role.
Right. Right.
Now,
Yeah.
let's say I'm a teacher and I'm using Fun Class
Mm.
and I have a problem in the class. Something's not working um, or that is there a chat feature available where I can get a hold of somebody right away to see if we can fix it?
Yeah, so that is something we're also trying to set up an IT support. So whenever there's something wrong in the real time in the class, you can directly click on a chat button to report the problem, and then we will
Okay.
have people 24/7 to reply to your messages. Yeah, so that's something we're already setting up at the moment.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's really helpful. That's really helpful. Now, I also noticed when I create a class, there's a checkbox for if the student is in China. Is that because do you have servers in China or something?
Exactly. Yeah. So I
Mhm.
would say that is the benefit of having a
Right.
Chinese vendor here.
Right.
Yeah, so we have actually two companies, one in China and the other in the UK.
Mhm.
So for a lot of like Western applications, it can be extremely difficult for
Oh,
them
yeah.
to access
Oh,
the
yeah.
Chinese market. Yeah, because it just needs a lot of verification to set up a company in China and the server, etc. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I'm Chinese, so we do have a China server, so that is
Easy
also the
peasy.
box you can pick for
Yeah.
the app to automatically like go to the China server for the students in
Mhm.
China to optimize their experience. So yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly what we're trying
Good.
to do.
Well, no,
Good.
this is important because, internationally we call it the China firewall. And so, the China firewall, it's like
Climb the
either,
wall.
oh my goodness, like
That's a
sometimes
big pain point.
it's quite painful because sometimes it's either it takes ridiculously long for something to go through or it's completely
Yeah.
blocked. And it really
Yes,
hampers a
exactly.
teacher's ability to do a lot of really great things for the students. So the
Yeah,
fact that you're able to get it inside that firewall from the get-go by checking that box is a big deal. I know that
absolutely.
because my website is the same thing. It depends on where in China you're located, how easy it is to see my website.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
can be a new challenge. Yeah, to
okay.
get through the China firewall.
So that's really great. Actually, that's a huge boon for you because I know that a lot of applications are not able to be used
Yeah,
there. And
exactly.
speaking of that, I of course fun class. I from what I've seen so far, I would completely be I would suggest using it or at least testing it out, to be honest. But what are some other tech tools that you think are user friendly for teachers as well that they could have in their repertoire?
Yeah, so I think it's exactly what we mentioned at the beginning, this kind of everything in one platform. So as a
Mhm.
teacher, I don't need to subscribe to so many different softwares, tools. The ideal of Fun Class is not just to use gamification, but also to become everything in one platform. So as an online tutor, you need to use some software to teach online, right? And then you have to schedule your lessons, so a calendar. And then you have to assign homework, share resources with the students. So that's the third thing you need to use. And then you also need to message the parents, communicate with them. So at least the four things. And the fifth thing is to collect payment. So these are the five main
Yes.
things that teachers have to do, right, for their
Mhm.
job to be done. So for Fun Class, we will include all of these functions. We use our dedicated meeting server to teach using gamification. And then we already integrated the calendar feature. In the future, we will also integrate with Google Calendar so it can directly know what other events you have on your
So
calendar.
syncing to Google is a
Right.
major issue with a lot of
Right.
places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's already on our roadmap to do. And the third thing, we already integrate our homework management. So you can
Mhm.
directly assign homework, share resources with the students. Students can also download and upload their homework directly to Fun Class. You can give them feedback there. You can reward them even for their efforts. So we already three box ticked. And the next one, messaging. So that's exactly something we're building right now. So the teachers, especially for the academy, sometimes you don't want the tutors to directly have the contact with the parents, right?
Right.
So for Fun Class, yeah, you can disable the contact details of the students. And also, for every message that the teacher sends to the parents, you have 100% transparency. You know what exactly the teacher has sent to the parents because every history is kept on your admin account as well. And then the fifth one, which is the payment collection, we are integrating with Stripe in order to provide global payment, including China. So it will also be connected with WeChat Pay, and parents can directly pay the academy or the tutor through Fun Class. So no more struggles with all of these payment, etc. So Fun Class, yeah, is really becoming an everything in one platform for online tutoring.
Right. So that's
Okay.
why I had asked that because um, the Google one will be a game changer, by the way. There's certain applications I don't use because it doesn't sync to my Google Calendar. So I need to, because I
Yeah.
use my Google Calendar as my center hub where I even my personal stuff I mark off and it goes off on all my calendars. They're all synced. So that's really great to hear that that's on your roadmap to get that done. Payment is the next one that's a big hassle for teachers. Now I can do payments
Yes.
with WeChat because I have an American account. So I have the Stripe account, but I know many
Mm,
people really struggle with the WeChat. And actually, even for me, for WeChat, sometimes they have to try two or three times before it even goes through on Stripe.
Yeah.
So
mm,
that's so the fact that you have that inside of China though is another big plus. Teaching from
exactly.
the app, so not just using it as a game, but the fact that you can actually teach from it. So let's talk about that for a second. How easy is it to teach from? Are we actually loading our materials there, or is it like Zoom where it'll just show my screen, which is actually the easier way? So which way is that?
Yeah, so there are two options that you can choose from. Number one, as you said, we also provide the screen sharing function. So if you already have your teaching materials ready on your screen, you can directly share screen
Okay.
when you go into the classroom.
That's
And the
my favorite
second
way.
option, yeah, there's another option, which is you can upload your slides in advance. Yeah, before the class happens, you can already upload them to Fun Class. And then once you join the class, you can directly see your slides uploaded to the platform. So you no longer need to share screen. And then with the function, you can actually give the student access to interact on your slides as well. For example, write on it, draw on it, etc. Yeah, so that would
You can
also
disable the pen though, right?
Exactly. You can
Yeah,
disable
because
their
I have
access as
kids that
well.
will do this.
I'm
Exactly.
so sorry.
So
That's
these are the two
funny.
ways you can use to share your teaching material, share screen or upload your slides to FunClass.
That's really
Okay.
good because some teachers really like uploading. My second question
Yeah.
is if you're sharing screen, can you still write on it?
So that's also something we
Okay.
are trying to add. Right now, you can't, but the way you can write on it is, as I said, upload your slides, which is something I personally prefer because once you upload to it, you can use any device to teach. You don't need to use the same laptop where you keep all of your teaching slides, etc. I can change to any devices I have. And also it gives the student the access to the toolbar where they can use the pen or to put on sticky notes, etc. So
Mhm.
far, only the uploading option provides access to interact on the slides. And speaking of the sharing screen, that is another thing we are currently doing, which is to add the overlay annotation tool. So both the teacher and the student can also interact on the shared screen. Yeah, so that's already within our development scope.
Very
Okay,
good, very
great.
good. The only reason I'm asking is because for me, I have a completely different setup where I have 10 terabytes of cloud storage, permanent storage. So I like to keep mine separate and I pull everything up. So I can access from any device, but I don't like to load. I just like to
Mhm.
pull up what I have from the cloud.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
I don't use slides. I think a lot of teachers are like me. I have textbooks in PDF form.
PDFs, yeah.
So we
Mm,
just go through it. And now I have uploaded the textbooks for my classes on Fun Class, and I didn't have a problem. Um, but I'm worried though, because some of the textbooks can be pretty big, like half a gig or
yeah,
even more. Um,
exactly.
so I don't make slides. Maybe I should, but I
I
hate PowerPoint.
I've
I
actually
hate that.
never made slides. I just use I am very PDF heavy myself because Edge allows you to write on them from its application PDFs. So
Mm,
that's why I'm
hmm.
very heavy on PDFs. I like to pull
Yeah,
resources from other places. Now I have teachers that work for me that will make slides for every class. So it's really dependent on the teacher.
exactly. Every teacher has a different teaching style. So I think what we need to do as the platform is just to provide the flexibility, right, to cater to different teaching styles.
But what I'm loving hearing from you is that you have these things on your roadmap and you are being very
Absolutely.
flexible. So a lot of
Yeah.
applications are not. It's like, nope, we only offer this and that's it. And we have nothing else coming out.
Well, as
What?
an online tutor myself, I know what kind of teaching tools every teacher
Mhm.
needs to use. So as also we are a very young startup, we are super, super open-minded and receptive to user feedback. So I don't know whether Jay, you have already tried a feature called co-browser.
Yeah,
Have you
I've
tried
tried it.
it?
Yeah, I've tried it.
Awesome. So that is an example. So co-browser is a very popular request from our early
Mhm.
teacher users. Some of them, they are used to Koala Go, which has the,
I've
the
heard of that.
co-browser function, right?
Yeah.
And then when they found out Fun Class, they thought, wow, this is something that seems really interesting to me. But okay, do you have co-browser? By that time we didn't. So I think,
You gotta have
well, we
it.
don't have that. But what we can do is to develop that for you. So
Right.
to also show our commitment to our users, we just spent 1 week and then we developed a co-browser feature for them.
Oh,
So
Okay.
that is
nice.
an example, yeah, how we really, really value our users' feedback, really trying to provide the best teaching and learning experience for both our tutors and the students. So yeah, all of these suggestions, Nicole, you just have mentioned, we have already considered them. Yeah.
Cool.
So don't worry, in the future, we're gonna have all of these important list from the teacher requests.
Well,
So
since you
I
brought up,
think
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I
Okay,
think
fine.
Ko- Koala Go is probably, I would think they're probably your biggest competitor right now.
Mhm, I would think.
Um,
Yeah,
and then
I have to say,
there's,
especially when it comes to younger students,
yeah.
Koala, yeah, they
And
have
payment.
the yeah, they have payment and also the playground, which a lot of teachers mentioned their students really love it. But still, I would say Fun Class. provides more flexibility that compared to Koala Go, because when it comes to Koala Go, the teachers, they have to again build all of the slides from scratch, right,
Right.
using
Yeah.
their platform. And not
Really?
Yeah.
every child likes the
Uh,
playground, because the playground is actually very limited when it comes to teaching.
mhm.
It doesn't really help the teacher to teach better. It's more like, well, no, let's have some fun at the end of the class. Let's go to the playground, but it doesn't really support a teacher in terms of their teaching purposes. But for fun class, our gamification is really, really just an extra support for them. They can't use whatever they're using right now. As you said, Nico used a lot of PDF. You can still use PDF to teach on fun class, but we give you some extra tools to incentivize the student
Yeah.
without
Right.
distracting them too much. Yeah, so I would
The
say
egg.
fun
They
class
love the
is
egg.
still, yeah,
They
exactly, the
love they
pet.
love that egg.
It reminds me of the
So I would
DigiPets.
still say fun class is really different from Koala Go, especially our gamification approach. It gives more flexibility and it doesn't distract the student that much.
I have
And
to admit,
you're
the Koala Go, that was the number one complaint I've heard from many teachers was
Mm,
the creating of the materials or having to load slides. And
exactly.
that's why I asked about the screen sharing, because a lot of teachers like me, I won't use an app that I have to
Yeah,
load stuff onto. I like to retain my materials
exactly.
on my device.
Me too. Yeah.
the other competitor you have, I mean, the probably the next biggest one is like Class In. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Class in.
and
It's a
I see a
Chinese
lot
company.
of, yeah, I see a lot of differences between the two. Yours is a
that's
lot more interactive than Class N. I have used Class N. I've done some work for some agents in China. I didn't really like
Right.
it, to be honest with you, but
I didn't
it's,
like it at
it's
all.
out there. Um, I
Yeah. Class in, it is a better tool for online teaching. It's not for business to have meetings. So
right,
in that aspect, yeah, it's definitely better than Zoom. But when it comes to interactivity, as you said, Jay, it's actually not that interactive,
no,
especially when it comes to the younger students, right? It can
right.
still come across quite boring. Yeah, so fun class really tries to make the lessons fun. So that is our biggest, I would say, unique selling point.
That was the
I
one
gotcha.
that I think it's was it teacher Nash? There's a couple teachers I know where they had to load. I think it was class in, and that
Mm,
they were very annoyed because they had forgotten that they had to load. And so they were quickly
mm,
trying to do that before class. So, okay.
yeah.
That's really interesting. I think that's going to be a great boon for your software. For me, those are the main issues that I have with the other two platforms. Is I'm not terribly keen on that particular aspect of having to. It's we spend so much time preparing our lessons already, and having to
Mm,
spend that extra time to do that, create the extra slides that you have to create, or to load materials and then manage that, that's just a lot of extra work instead of just being able to do what you're normally doing, but using that to enhance
yeah,
your experience
exactly.
instead of
Exactly.
hamper. So
Right.
I like that a lot. That's actually really cool. That's really cool. And I can't wait to see the teenager and then the adult section, because I think for some adults, okay, I teach adults, and even I know that the adult classes can be very dry and boring.
Yeah,
Mm,
And because there's
yeah,
only
yeah,
so much you can do, especially when
exactly.
you've got a beginning student, but it's an adult,
right.
Right, right.
right?
I totally
And
Most
agree.
difficult person to teach in the
that
world
is
right there.
the I right, because you're sitting here thinking to yourself, you really need this kindergarten material, but you're 35 years old.
Right, exactly.
And it's like, how do I do that without insulting? But at the same time, you really need this material,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. I
So
can totally see
if
the challenge.
right, I mean, every teacher has this challenge where you're sitting here going, but that's what you need. But it's for a kindergartner or preschool student, right? Or even an elementary student. So having a platform that has it maybe even on their radar, that we need to find something that could kind of marriage the two, I think is also a very huge market that is not tapped.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like when I first started fun class, it was a little bit surprising for me that not many platforms are using gamification in their online tutoring platform because gamification is actually not something new, right? When it comes to learning, we already see so many apps like Duolingo. They use
Yeah.
gamification so much
Right.
that is their main thing to hook the users. But when it comes to online tutoring platforms, as you said, Classin, okay, Zoom, and some other ones, Lesson Space,
10 cent.
Pencil Space, etc., none of them they're using gamification. So I was actually quite astounded to find why they're not using gamification. But also at the same time, I feel like that can be such a powerful tool for teachers to enhance their teaching experience, right? To make the students more motivated and interactive in the class. And then,
So,
okay, there's the gap I
Even
found in the market.
even
so,
adults use games.
so
Yeah,
there may
absolutely.
be, I think that we may have some people that don't really understand what gamification is. Can you explain that?
Mm, that's true. Well, when we think of gamification, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily like a video game, but
Mhm.
whatever kind of mechanism or functions that can boost the user's motivation. So, for example, when we use some apps, when we like, for example, to complete the onboarding process, you will see that you might get some points every time you tick a box, right? So that
Mhm.
is an example of gamification. It's not like a video game, but that already gives you more incentive in order to complete a goal. Yeah, whether it's like rewarding you some points or like a show you the progress bar, etc. These are all examples of gamification. So gamification, the main thing is connected to human motivation. Yeah, how we can use some extra tools to
Mhm.
help a user to have more motivation in completing something. That can be regarded as gamification. And a lot of examples, I would say the basic ones are rewarding, like the rewards, the points, the leaderboards, badges, etc. Yes, these are all the basic functions or
Okay.
features of gamification. But these work really, really well in combination of the experience itself. If you have some little sparks, right, around the learning experience, that can enhance it a lot to give you more motivation to finish it. Yeah, so that is the concept of gamification. And we can see that students, like especially younger children, teenagers, they would spend hours and hours playing games because of that kind of quick feedback they get when they finish
Right.
something. Oh, they get rewards. So that kind of boosted their like a dopamine in some
Instant
way.
gratification.
Get addicted. Yeah, I want to do more. I wanted to do more because I'm getting these positive feedback all the time. And that is related to human motivation. So why we
Yeah.
can't apply it to learning? That can be such a powerful tool.
I agree with you. We're very visual creatures, and so what you're talking about is more like visual stimulation, visual connectivity.
Instant
It
gratification.
instant gratification. So a
Yes.
lot of
Yeah.
times how many, it, a lot of kids are like, "Ooh, I wonder how many stars I can get by the end," right? Or you can set up a goal.
Yeah.
It's almost like an instinctual, I need to beat last time. Like last time I got 10 stars,
Yeah.
I need to get 12 stars this time. Or, it's very
Exactly.
visual, especially for the younger kids. But I even find that even for adults and stuff, like even me, when I'm going through a self-paced course, if I don't have a progress bar, it's hard for me to gauge how well I'm doing. Have you ever noticed that?
Mhm.
Mm,
So I'll always
yeah.
watch that progress bar. And for me, I'll put a goal on my progress bars. For example, okay, I need to get to
Mm,
80% today and then another
yeah.
10% tomorrow. And then, so I can actually gauge how far I'm going. Um,
Exactly.
so this makes a lot of sense. But on top of that, your platform has some actually very specific interests for some of the younger kids. Like Jay kept mentioning the egg. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, so it's kind of Tamagotchi pet development game.
Yes.
But yeah,
I
you
remember
have played
Digipets, but I'm a little older.
I still remember when I was a child, I begged, cried so much in order to get a Tamagotchi. And then I thought, well, a lot of kids they love it as well. So whereas some of them they can't keep a real pet at home, why not?
Mm.
keeping a digital pet, right? They can feed, they can interact with, etc. So yeah, that's how the idea came from. And also, it helps the children to develop a sense of responsibility as well. Because once you have a pet, you have to take care of it. But the pet will lose energy, will lose lives in the class. Like Jay probably have already experienced with the students, if they're distracted in the class, the pet is gonna lose lives, right?
Right.
So on one hand, yeah, it's a way for the students to focus better in the class. On the other hand, is that okay, my pet got hurt, so I need to probably earn some food from my teacher to feed my pet. So you see, that is the loop of the motivation here. It's not like, okay, I earned some meaningless stars in the
There
lesson,
you
and
go.
then the next time all of the stars are gone, right? They don't retain, they don't have any long-term meaning. But for
Right.
our gamification system, it is really a long-term sustaining process. The students have a goal. I have a pet, I need to care. So I have to constantly perform well in the lessons to earn the food, to earn the points in order to feed my pet, to evolve my pet, so I can see it grow. And the growth of the pet is also their own growth, because if they don't perform well, if they don't make progress, the pet won't grow either. So it's also, as you said, Nicole, a kind of visualization of the student's progress. Yeah. So that kind of visualization would also make them more motivated. Hey, today I got 20% more progress on my learning, and I feel like
Right.
I'm more confident, right, in learning the subject. And a lot of students, they don't like the subject because they don't get any positive experience from it. They feel frustrated, etc. They think they're not doing well. But we use this kind of rewards, etc., to make the students feel more confident, to let them know they are making progress. So that's how we also use gamification to boost the student intrinsic motivation, to make them feel they're actually very competent.
Very cool. Very cool. I love this a lot. This is why I asked because um, some platforms will let you give stars and things like that. And that's great, actually. I wish Zoom would do that.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
amazing, but it doesn't, or at least have a sound effect, be like, what? Or something. I don't know. But it doesn't. So yeah, it's just for meetings. So the fact that they can
Yeah.
grow something, the thing I like the best about this is um, it also helps the teacher quickly recognize a student in a group. So
Right.
sometimes
Mm,
some students catch your eye more than other students. And I hate to say this as a
mm,
teacher, but it happens. We're human. And
Right.
you
yeah.
won't sometimes notice immediately that another student isn't quite as engaged as they should be. And it
Yeah. Yeah.
can be for you a quick, oh, hey, their pet's dying. Wait, let's ask you a couple questions.
You,
Yeah.
you know what I would like to see? Just one little request.
Mm.
I want to see the
Sure.
kid's egg in the class. I want to see it too.
Oh,
I can't
You can
see
yeah.
it.
actually see that. You can actually see that, Jay. Well, right now, for every student's profile picture, it is their pet. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know whether
want to
you have
see it.
noticed.
I want to see an action. I want to see it in action.
I see.
Oh,
Okay, we
It's
can
maybe a
like
definitely do
another
that.
tab.
avatar,
Maybe
like
a
an
tab that you
avatar or
can,
something.
I would say a
Yeah,
tab you
so
can click
for the
on the
student
picture and see
side,
it.
for the student side, the pet will actually pop up during the lesson when they
Right.
receive a reward, but
Oh,
we
that's
haven't made
cool.
that visible for the teachers so far. But
Right.
of course, Jay, that is a
I want to see
fantastic
that.
request
That's
for
that's
sure.
pretty
We're gonna add
cool.
that. No problem.
That's cool. I
All
like
right.
that. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that would also make the teacher feel like, yeah, this is a really like gamified experience, not just for the
Yes.
child, but the teacher. It
Right.
would make it more fun for the teacher.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
in a
We're gonna
way,
add
it
it.
in a way, it's a good way for the teacher to be able to reward the student as well. Because if they see
Mm.
something, they go, "Oh, look, you did so well. Look at your pet. He just popped out," or whatever. You can actually
Right.
react to that action happening.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
if I
absolutely.
was a kid, I'd
No
find this
problem.
extremely
That's an
cool.
easy thing to add.
Okay,
Okay, so oh, go ahead. Did you have a question?
I was going to say, yeah, I've got one more question.
Go for it.
Sure.
What what do you see coming later on the
That's
horizon
what I was going to ask.
in EdTech?
Oh,
We had the same
What do you see
oh.
question.
coming?
So, I have to say, Fun Class is also considering to integrate with some AI features, because there are a lot of things we can help the teacher to automate without manually doing everything by themselves. Just to give you an example, what we are considering doing next year, early next year, which is to add the AI feedback. I know a lot of tutors, I don't know whether you do that, you have to write a last year report, right?
Yeah.
Based on the notes you took in a class,
Mhm.
etc. But imagine, what if you don't need to write down everything anymore manually? The AI can already give you a very well written summary, which you can just
Mhm.
slightly edit, and then you, boom, send to the parent. So that
Done.
is another thing we are considering in the near future, to integrate the AI feedback. And also, especially when you're teaching languages, it is really, really helpful to use the AI to analyze the student's speech, how it
Mhm.
changes over time, right? Like the sentence structure, the diction, the vocabulary they use, whether it gradually increases
Like
or diverse.
like
Yeah.
month
So
to month. You're talking like month to
exactly.
month.
So
Yeah, that's really
this
good because
kind
we
of
don't always notice
quantitative
it.
yeah, so this kind of quantitative feedback can be extremely helpful. Yeah, to provide with the parents, hey, this is the progress that your child has made during the one past month. This is the sentence structure they have learned and they actually used in their speech in the
Mhm.
lesson. So these are some of the examples. Yeah, we are trying to use AI for.
I dig it.
Awesome. Yeah, I do use AI quite a lot. And you might notice even now, I turn on the AI summary. My adult and my upper level students, they get the AI summary as part of their memo. For the younger students, I have to
Mm,
do a different process because that's not helpful for them. I have a very structured, very long, detailed memo process that I have, a template.
mm-hmm.
So something like that would be very helpful for me. And I think a lot of teachers would find this very helpful because I think
I dread.
parents underestimate how difficult it is to write the memo after class. We are actually
Absolutely.
taking notes during class while we're teaching, while we're doing the applications, while we're
Yeah,
doing the materials, I mean, I'm
exactly.
doing like 20 things at once and I'm taking notes to be able to
Yeah.
write a memo. And I mean, I've developed a skill where I can actually do the memo while I'm teaching. So you're typing and teaching and doing everything at once, right? So
Right.
having that actual be able to be reliably pulled out of a responsibility you have to do while you're teaching
Hmm.
increases the quality of the teaching for the student because it's not something I have to compartmentalize while I'm teaching.
Exactly. Yeah, that would also take up a lot of teacher burden. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to do so many things at once. Yeah, AI
Yeah.
can already help you automate.
I'm one of those teachers that dreads writing memos. I absolutely dread it.
Me too. Me too. That is
It's
one of my least
so
favorite things
time
to do in
consuming.
online
Well,
tutoring.
and
I always delay.
my memos always start to sound the same for each student. They
Me too. Me too.
I've moved to a
Hey, great job today.
I have moved for my younger students and I've taught all my teachers to do it. We now do a type of a screenshot cut and paste memo for our younger students now to make it relevant so they can find it in the video because it got so difficult. We do write still, but it just became so technically, difficult.
Hmm.
And I've also implemented a policy. A lot of companies, they want you to have the memo like within the same day or within a few minutes after class.
Mm.
I know how
Yeah.
burdensome it is. I give my teachers 24 hours as part of our policy now that they have 24
Yeah.
hours to
Yeah.
do the memo because
Yeah.
if you don't do a certain quality of memo, you end up with a ton of back and forth from the parent,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So it's very cumbersome and burdens. It's very burdening. I mean, I've had times where I've had so many classes in a day where I'm just sitting there going, "What did we talk about?" And I have to go watch the video again.
Now, okay, so we can do memos on fun class recordings. Can the parents download these?
Yes. So for the class recording, actually, the parents, students can directly log in and then see the recording on their portal without the teacher uploading anything. Because this recording, once you record a lesson, it is already automatically stored on both the accounts, the teacher and the students. So there's
So
no need. Okay, you need to download the
nobody has,
recording, upload to Google Drive, share the link with the parents. No need, no hustle. Because the teacher, once they record the lesson, it will directly appear on the student's portal. They just go into the lesson,
How
check recording,
you just
then they
you
can watch
just
the
saved me a
recording
lot of money
directly.
and time.
No, what I want to know is what is the cloud storage cap? Because usually you can only
If
have so much
Right.
terabyte, Uh-huh.
if you're a pro account, it's unlimited.
Okay. Oh, okay. Very good. I have a policy with my students though, like every fourth video, You can only have a maximum of 4 videos loaded in our drive. When you get to the fifth
Mm,
video, the oldest one comes off. So we do that with memos as well,
mm,
by the way. I do that to save space because I would
mm.
have people with like 20 videos and it's on
Right.
Yeah,
my drive. They wouldn't transfer
right.
ownership. So I
Yeah,
implemented a policy whenever I get to 4, when I add number 5, first one, the oldest comes off. Get to number 5, the
yeah.
oldest.
So
Yeah.
far on FunClass, if you're a pro account, you can have as much as you want for recording. There's no storage limit so far.
Okay.
And
Cool.
before we end our podcast today, I did have one other question. You had mentioned very interestingly, so obviously there's individual accounts, but you had talked about if you have teachers like I do, and you could
Yeah.
remove their ability to have the student or parents' personal
Mm,
details. What is the
hmm
difference between your personal accounts and your maybe company or group accounts?
Academy accounts.
Is that what you're calling
Right.
them?
So
Academy?
it's a great question. So right now, we are mostly targeting our B2C customers who are the independent tutors, but also our next focus is to expand to more B2B clients who are the academies. Yeah, they already have a team of tutors and students, so you're not just one person alone. Yeah, so that's exactly what we're currently developing, a B2B tutoring management system for the admin, right? For example, the director or the owner of the academy. So I would say the biggest difference is that as an academy owner, you would have 100% transparency of all of the lessons that are happening in your academy. Every day, what are the lessons? What are the status? Whether the teacher has showed up on time, whether there's some students who are absent in the lesson, whether there's an issue in the lesson, etc. You will have 100% transparency to see what is exactly going on. And you can also see every student's feedback for the teacher and the teacher's feedback for every student. As an admin, you can see all of these and also lesson recording. If the lesson is recorded, you can watch them directly from your admin account. Yeah, so
What
that
about
will be a very, very powerful portal for the academy owner to have 100% transparency. Yeah, I see, Jay, you would like to ask a question?
Oh yeah, I've got ants in my pants right now. Academy owners, will they be able to, because I know you're bringing on payment processing, will they be able to
Yeah.
pay their teachers through your platform as well?
Exactly. You can do that too. Yeah, on
Mhm.
FunClass. You can not only collect payment from the parents on FunClass, but also do the teacher payroll. You can do that.
Wow.
Actually, one of the amazing thing for this B2B account is that we automatically records how many hours or lessons the teacher has done this month. And you can check what are the lessons, what are the dates, what time are the lessons. So to give you like a very reliable way to see the teacher's lessons. And then the all of lessons, the amount they need you need to pay them is all automatically calculated for you. You just need to hit a button, pay them, approve, and then it's done. You don't need
So
to go to the spreadsheet again. Yeah.
you can set each individual's pay rate in
Yes.
fund class.
Yes,
So
you can.
you maybe you got one teacher that makes $20 an hour, another one that makes 75.
You can
It'll
personalize
calculate
and
it.
customize for every teacher. Yes.
Oh, you should see the dollar signs going off in my head because I'm thinking of all of what I'm paying for the software that I use to do that. Um, okay. Second question, follow up. If like for me, I already have a very robust website where I have the scheduling and everything all in one because I have my own company. Um, is it down the pike in your roadmap? Is it going
Mhm.
to be, if you do the academy, would it be integratable into a website?
Yes, absolutely. That's something we have already been
Oh my
requested
God.
by a lot of clients that we have. Yeah, because they already have their own website
Platforms.
and they
Yeah.
want to connect our FunClass admin account to their website so they can directly track all of the leads, etc. on FunClass. Yes, absolutely. We are going to provide this integration function with your website.
Nice. Oh,
Wow.
this is going to be an extreme game changer. I'm excited. We're going to have to bring you back maybe in about maybe 4 to 6 months and see what you've
Yeah.
updated because I think if you're able to integrate a lot of this, it's going to be a huge game changer for a lot of especially solo
I know.
teachers or teachers that have a
We
small co-op.
Exactly. We aim to be the dark horse in the online tutoring
Oh, I
field.
like this. I like this idea. I like. You should make that part of your branding. You should put a dark horse on your thing. So exciting. So before we go, was there anything that you would like to add or let our viewers know about your maybe your resources or anything that you would like to let them know before we get going?
Yeah, of course. So after, I mean, our discussion, I think maybe a lot of our listeners might be very interested in trialing out Fun Class. So, just to give everyone a sense of how much we charge you, actually, it's a very, very affordable price compared to a lot of other platforms you use. So we have two tiers, starter and a pro. For the starter plan, this is for teachers who have less than 10 students in total. So that would be £9 per month. Yeah, £9 per month. And then if you're a pro account, you have more than 10 teachers, you have more than 10 students, and you want to have unlimited access to FunCloud, that is £19 per month. So very, very affordable. Our annual plan is even cheaper. If you subscribe to the annual starter plan, that's £96. And then for the annual pro plan, that's £169. But this is the current pricing. After we release all of the new functions, as I mentioned previously, payment collection, integration with Google Calendar, etc., next year we might raise the subscription fee a
Sure.
little bit higher. So anyone who still subscribed this year will still enjoy the current plan, pricing plan, and have all of the new features in the future. You don't have to pay more. Yeah, but from next year, we're gonna slightly increase the pricing. Yeah, so just for everyone who is interested to subscribe to FunClass, so it's better to sign up as soon as possible, so you can enjoy all of the feature in the future, but also keep the current pricing.
So you're offering a
Perfect.
grandfathered, what we call it a grandfathered program. So if they enter now, they keep that price at least for the next year, is what you're
Exactly. For
guaranteeing.
forever.
Forever.
Yes.
Oh, so it's a complete
Forever.
grandfather program. Okay.
Exactly.
So for our viewers who are watching who are unsure of the pound to dollar, right now $9 is actually about 11.50 in dollars, and 19 is just over 24. So just for
Very
those who
reasonable.
use dollars. Yeah, it's not that's actually pretty on par with what Zoom costs monthly, to be honest.
Yeah,
Zoom,
exactly.
the
We
pro
we are quite
accounts.
aligned with the Zoom pricing, but we offer so much more than Zoom does.
Very
There's
good.
there's a lot of value here. There's a lot of value here.
Do you offer any type of discount? A lot of times people offer a discount if you do like the 1 year subscription instead of
Mm,
monthly.
yeah, exactly. So that's what I said for the annual
Oh,
account. It
sorry, I
is
didn't hear
even
that.
cheaper. Yeah, it's even cheaper. So if you subscribe to an annual plan for monthly, the pro plan would only cost you seven pounds. And then for the pro plan, that's 14 pounds. So
Ah,
it's super affordable.
drops it
Yeah.
down to 19 and just under 7, or sorry, drops it down to just under 9 and just under 18 monthly. So you times that
Yes,
by 12.
exactly.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
big savings. All right. Then it makes it
Yeah.
really comparable. All right. Very nice. Oh my goodness. We have to have you back. Me and Jay have decided, I can see the look on his face. We have
Oh, my
decided
pleasure. My pleasure.
we have to have you back. We got to see what where this is going in another 6 months. I mean, the amount that you have accomplished in such a short amount of time, I
Right.
can't imagine what another 6 months is going to look like. And I'm going to be testing this out myself next week with my students. So I will
Oh,
be really excited
exciting.
about this. Yeah, I know, right? All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. I mean, we have really enjoyed having you on. You have just been a pleasure to talk to. I think this is a
Thank
huge
you.
game changer for a lot of teachers. Like I said, the flexibility where we can have a calendar, we can have a payment portal. We're not required to build something on your platform or load something. We can just use what we have. If we don't have the time, if you're running late, you can load it. You can talk to the students. You don't have to worry about having, all this messaging going on your phone all the time, which that really gets me. I spent too much time on that. Being able to manage who you talk to, when you talk to, how you talk to them, getting paid, paying out teachers if you have them on just the all-in-one package for such a wonderful, it's amazing. I can't wait to have you back. We're so happy that you came here today. Thank you so much. I hope our
Thank
viewers
you,
have
Jay and
enjoyed
Nicole.
it.
Me too. It's such a wonderful conversation with you guys.
Thank you so much. You have anything to add, Jay, before we get going?
No, I just want to say thank you for coming on. I know you didn't have any idea who we are, but I am really glad you came on. I think you have a great product here that will help a lot of teachers. I really do.
I think
I
so
really
too.
do.
Thank you so
I
much.
wish something like this had been available a year ago when I
Oh,
started.
Even 2 or 3 years ago, this would have
Right.
just been so helpful. Yeah, to be quite fair, like I said, I'm going to be testing it out, and if it's as good as it is, my Zoom membership might be going away.
Mine too.
I might just go back to the free Zoom because it's really great. Especially since you mentioned the AI feature. That is one of the things I have noticed with my Zoom that I really enjoy is the
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
And being able to do those memos. I mean, I pay so much for cloud storage. A lot of those things I can take off my plate and put it all into one place. So that's really going to be very helpful. So I'm very excited to see this coming down the pike. It really is nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole.
Well,
All right, I will keep you guys updated about our latest development. And absolutely, I am more than happy to jump on another podcast with you in the future.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much again. Have a wonderful
you.
day. Bye.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.